Before we head into the Cheez-It Bowl tonight, we've been doing this 3 key segments all year with WSU. Today is no different, so here are my 3 keys to this contest for the Cougs. We've talked about this a lot the past few days and really ever since the game was announced, but WSU's defense must be sound against the Air Force triple option offense tonight. Air Force has the number 3 rushing offense in the country, averaging 293 yards per game, and they've done this without a single player in the top 50 in the country for rushing yards individually. This is an offense that is going to grind it out against you, but here's the key. WSU can't get lulled into Air Force's rushing attack because the Falcons can make the Cougs pay through the air. Now, we have to remember Air Force doesn't throw the ball that much, but they do have the most efficient passing offense in the country. Their quarterback, DJ Hammond Jr., is averaging 13 yards per pass this season. Hammond is throwing for big gains and big gains only. This is not great for the Cougars, as explosive plays have been a huge problem for them this season, the majority of which have been on passing plays. Another key for WSU is that they are going to have to be just as disciplined as the Air Force. I know, crazy, a military team disciplined. Who knew? Air Force is number 1 in the country for averaging the fewest amount of penalties this season. They've only been penalized 40 times this year, which pencils out to 3.33 penalties per game. They're also extremely disciplined in their offense. They're second in the country in third down conversion percentage at 55% and 6th in the country in fourth down conversion percentage at 72%. As I said before, this team grinds their way down the field for the majority of the game, but boy, are they successful at it. On defense, they're pretty disciplined in the red zone. They're 17th in the country in red zone defense, only allowing their opponents to score once they get within Air Force's 74% of the time. Basically, to sum it up, WSU is going to have to match Air Force's discipline if they want to win this one. Air Force and WSU only have one common opponent this year, Colorado, so I'm going to look to that game for our final key. Air Force defeated Colorado 30-23 in overtime. Basically, all the numbers I just rattled off about Air Force are reflected in the stats of this game. Air Force is averaging 293 rushing yards per game. They had 284 against Colorado. They went 58% on third down. They're averaging 55% on the season. They had 4 penalties in this game. They're averaging 3.33 per game this year. DJ Hammond averages 12.9 yards per pass in this game. He's averaging 13 yards per pass this season. Basically, the Falcons can definitely hang with an average Pac-12 team, and that is what the Cougs have been this year. 2 things I want to point out here. Colorado let Hammond pass for nearly 50 more yards than his average. That's a big deal in an offense that mostly runs. Seems like a pretty big key there. The other thing I want to point out is that Colorado was down by 13 points with 6.5 minutes to go and came back to force overtime. The only reason why the Buffs didn't win in regulation was that they had a PAT blocked. WSU's offense is way more explosive than Colorado's. This is a defense WSU can definitely come back against, so keep that in mind if the Cougs are trailing in the 4th. WSU and Air Force kick off at 7:15 local time in the Cheez-It Bowl on ESPN. By the way, WSU alum Ryan Leaf on the call tonight, so that should be a pretty fun one. There's been a lot of hype about this game, and it's people saying that it could be one of the best matchups of this bowl season, so we'll see if this lives up to the hype. Reporting in Phoenix, I'm Brenna Green, Grim 2 Sports.